Hey guys, I just wanted to walk you through a couple quick examples of the homework. So it's exactly what we just got done doing in class. We are still finding the slope from 2 points. It's just that I didn't give you as much help as I gave you on the notes, right? So if I were you, the formula isn't written here anywhere. If I were you, I would add myself a text box with the formula. So you know it's y2 minus y1. Make that a little bit bigger. To make my fraction bar, you just add the little line right there. And then I'm going to add another text box that says x2 minus x1. So I would give myself like a handy little like visual of the formula on there somewhere to help me. So this is a maze, which means that you're not going to do every problem on the sheet. You're just going to do the problems that go in the direction that the correct answers take you. So we're obviously going to start with the start. So I am going to begin by adding a little text box to label. So because this is my first coordinate, I know it's x1, y1, and I'm going to click the little, make the text smaller. It's little t with a minus up here. So I got a little bit more space here. So I got my x1 and my y1. And then we know that our second coordinate is going to be x2, y2. And again, the reason we did that is because, you know, the dude that invented slope formula said that he wants this one on the left to be coordinate number 1, this one on the right to be coordinate number 2, even though technically it doesn't matter which one you put in there or which one you make which, but that's fine. We'll do it the way that we typically do it. So I would go through, you know how much I like to color code, so I would be consistent. So I'm going to make all, like, so I would do y2 is y2, y1 is my y coordinate of my first coordinate. My x2 is the x coordinate of my second coordinate. Oh, oops. I meant to highlight the number. And then my x1 is the x coordinate of the first coordinate. So I'm going to add a text box to substitute those values into the formula. So instead of y2, I'm going to type -7 minus the subtraction is just part of the formula that always needs to be there because, right, you got a minus and a minus. You're finding the difference between the two numbers. So the subtraction is always in there because that's just part of the formula. So that's why I did -7 minus. I'm going to replace the y1 with a -19. Then I'm going to click the line tool to make my little fraction bar. Then I'm going to add another text box to show that my x2 is -2. x1 is 1. So I need to see this work when it says show your steps. I need to see, for you to get credit, what exactly did you put into the formula? Because if you did make a mistake, that's how I'm going to help you figure out where you went wrong. Okay? So now that we got it subbed in there, I need to look for any double negatives, which I have right here, because it's -7 minus a -19. So I'm going to go ahead and click in there just because I don't have a ton of space. I'm going to backspace, and I'm going to replace that with a plus, because minus a minus means a plus. -7 plus 19 is going to give me 12. Whoopsie. Then I've got my fraction bar. And then -2 minus 1 gives me -3. So far, I've got -2 over -3. But I can actually simplify that because remember that fraction bar means divide. So 12 divided by -3 simplifies to -4. So I know that's my answer, which means I'm going to follow that correct answer down here to the next problem. All right, I'm going to start off by labeling. And again, this is my X and my Y for my first coordinate. This is my X and my Y for my second coordinate, right? So we're going to do, I'm going to add a little text box here. So y2 minus y1. So let's look at that first. So my y2 is going to be a +3. So I'm going to go ahead and backspace. I'm going to replace that y2 with a 3. My y1 is also going to be a 3. So I'm going to backspace. I'm going to replace that y1 with a 3. I'm going to add my little fraction bar. I'm going to replace x. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm going to add another text box. So I subtracted my y's on the top. Now on the bottom is x2 minus x1. So now I'm going to replace the x2 with the x coordinate of my second coordinate, right? Because it's x2. So I'm going to backspace. I'm going to replace that with a 20. x1 is going to be 19. So I'm going to replace that x1 with the 19. My next step is to look for any double negatives, but I don't have any double negatives this time. So I am just going to do the math. So 3 minus 3, 3 minus 3 is 0. So I'm going to have a 0 in the numerator. I got my fraction bar for division. 20 minus 19 is 1. And 0 divided by 1, 0 divided by anything actually is 0. So we know we're going to follow up here. And we'll go to the next problem here. So the most important part I want to get to you is that I need to see what you subtracted to get your answer. So I've got to see, like for number 1, I've got to see this part right here. For the second one I just did, I've got to see this part right here. It's very important that I can see the steps that you did in order for me to give you credit. If you've got any other questions for me, you know how to find me, so just let me know.